our Sunday morning prayer. Feeling as if your lungs could expand downward into your belly. We're sinking into gravity. We're sinking into our hips. We're going to work with divine female energy today. Relax your body. Feel every single thing relax. As you're taking a breath in, relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, relax your belly. You don't have to change a thing. You don't have to do anything differently. You don't have to be anything that you're not. The more we're settling into this knowingness that your female body has within it the ability to do everything that you are aspiring to do. You don't have to do anything different, except instead of pushing energy out into the world around you, reverse the current and bring your focus into your body. Pull back into this feeling. Pull back into this feeling. So there's a huge sense of relief. There's a sense of peace. There's a sense of surrendering. The body itself has the wisdom. It has the intuition. It has the ability to receive impressions from the world around you. Every cell in your body can resonate on the same vibration of every single cell in this horse's body or this dog's body or this cat's body. You're learning how to use your body as an instrument. And as you're able to become more and more in touch with this magical creation, this incredible musical instrument called your physical body that has its own vibratory levels that can be changed deliberately with your mind, with your energetic field, with your emotion, that you can tap into yourself, you can adjust it, you can adjust the frequencies so that you're able to maintain this vessel of peace and power and joy and magic. You're able to acknowledge that the God-Goddess energy is already inside of you. And rather than looking anywhere out there for anybody else's wisdom or approval or looking for solutions out there, we're learning how to look in here. This is where God lives. God is inside you. God already knows what all the animals are thinking and feeling. God's already put within you a listening device so that you can tune into them and hear everything, feel everything, see everything. Now, the patriarchal world you're living in does not want you to know this. They do not want you to know, because it makes their entire commercial world, their whole capitalistic viability, null and void. No man out there is going to teach you something your body doesn't already know. Your body can listen to an animal, can listen to a spirit in heaven, can take in the energy of a tree or a flower or a butterfly or any creature and resonate on the same frequency as that creature, because you are Mother Earth. You are the embodiment of Mother Earth. The creator who created them all is the creator who created you. And rather than thinking of ourselves as isolated and separate, of confused and weak and helpless and not knowing, we're shifting into this feeling of absolute knowing. And you're holding that silence inside yourself. You're focusing on this incredible golden flame in your solar plexus, in your heart. We're going to focus on the belly today, the female belly, where the gut impulse lives, the intuition lives. And we're going to dance with her. We're going into Cobra energy. It's the Kundalini that's coming up the center of your spine in the very inside of your bones. And we're celebrating her ability to take on this incredible challenge of coming into this very injured world and bringing forth some healing, some grace. Grace doesn't mean the absence of pressure, the absence of pain, the absence of challenge. Grace, the definition of courage, finding something to hang on to when there is nothing to hang on to. Grace is a suspended space outside of space and time. And within that grace, there's nothing within you but absolute calm and joy and humor even. And this ability to respond to the world around you. That if a dog comes into the room, you're going to respond to the body of that dog, to her feelings, to her thoughts, to her personality. So you have within you everything you need to make this magic happen. It's a matter of learning how to retreat deeper into your own chakra system, your ability to listen and vibrate on the frequency of the creatures around you, which you're already doing, but you're not allowed to acknowledge the fact that you can do it. And so I'm saying, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that every one of you can do it. The Charlotte readings were amazing, absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to put her on and let her confirm. And so we're pulling ourselves back into this center of knowingness in your body, in your spine. I mean, I see it right now. It's blinding white light. It's electrifying white light. And it may have gold around it. It may have some of the blue that is the color of the Divine Mother, Isis, Mother Mary, Venus. They're all that white light blue, that blue inside your spine, that liquid fire inside your spine. You have the right to your own impressions. And it's as simple as what's your impression what's going on inside this dog. You have the right to your impression. No one's going to come along and take it from you and tell you you don't have the right to feel what you feel. We're feeling our way through their bodies. And that's why it's so important that when we ask questions, every question has to have an emotion attached. It's a different frequency level. That frequency level is going to match up with a particular frequency within that animal. Here are our thoughts. So close your eyes and follow along with me. Today, I joyously proclaim a greater good. My thoughts are radiant with the light of spirit. There's no darkness in my mind. I'm directed by the spirit of wisdom. I'm guided into right action, into happiness and success, because the light of spirit shines from the very center of my being. This light illuminates my path and makes straight the way before me. This light is God, the living spirit, almighty. Gently, I lay my burden and woes at the altar of my faith, and I turn from the valley of my previous unhappiness. I make my ascent from appearance to reality with a song on my lips and peace in my heart. The light of spirit shines forth from my soul. It's a beam of eternal radiance. In the light, there is no darkness. I close the door of my consciousness to everything that denies my good, and I affirm that all I need is at hand. Today, I accept a greater experience of life's infinite bounty. Going within myself, I meet this life and I expect it to respond. I refuse to dwell in limitation. The presence of the Spirit in me establishes in my life that which is good, beautiful, and true. All the power that flows through me is health, happiness, and success. The light of Spirit shines forth from me. So you have this energy emanating from you. You have control over it. How much of it am I going to give away? How much of it am I going to keep for myself? So there's no longer just one way of operating. It's not just out there. We're working on the in here now, the in here. And there's breathing going on, and there are choices being made at all times. So those choices about, do I say something in this situation or not? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're going to withhold some of your knowledge and impressions, or not react the way you always have. Maybe not react as quickly as you used to hold your own energetic field as if you could cradle it like a baby. This is your inner child. She's the one who has all the wisdom in her. Learning how to protect her is a lifelong challenge. But now more than ever, our goal is to be able to stay focused, to remember, why did you come to this earth? What was the point of this life? Why are you here? Who are you? And once you discover that, your psychic ability will be automatic. You won't have to think about it anymore. It's going to be as much a part of you as your ability to smell or taste or hear or touch. You can intuit. And the stronger you get, the more you'll remember, and the more you remember, the stronger you'll get. So we're in a world where, if you think about this world as there are patients in a hospital, and you're a doctor. If you think about that, and if you think about the fact that all the clamoring and the negativity and the chaos and the violence, they're wanting you to be like them instead of you being able to walk into a hospital of patients and say, I'm not a patient. Okay, you're not one of the inmates. I keep feeling every time I talk to one of you and you're saying, I feel crazy. You are not crazy. We're the healing power on the planet. You're the voice of truth. You're the sanity. You came to do something about this. It's not easy and it's not fun. But by holding your power, this psychic ability is going to get stronger, and you're going to get stronger in every way. Your body's going to get stronger. Everything's going to get stronger. As we came to anchor some healing and some truth on the planet, they desperately need it. So I've got wonderful questions from Maya, and I've got Amy Fournier on to confirm about Charlotte. Oh boy, we're gonna have some fun with Charlotte. All right, Amy Fournier, could I put you on, darling? I would love for you to tell them your response to their readings. Okay, I'm trying. I'm doing ask to unmute.
Let me get Charlotte.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I hear you.
Here we are. Just showed it. Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much.
Hi, Charlotte. How are you?
We're great. We just got back from the beach, and she had a little bath, and we're having some lunch, and my niece is here. And I just have to say a little aside, Amelia, my niece is completely just in awe of you. I showed her your website with the tigers and the animals, and she wants to be one of us.
Awesome. How old is she?
She's 8. You want to say hi, honey? I told her it's never too young to learn, all right?
Perfect timing.
Come on. Quick. You want to say hi? Come say hi. Come on. You gotta get near the camera. Sorry.
Hi.
Her name is Jacqueline.
Hi, Jacqueline. You're not too young to learn this. This is exactly the right age to start.
Thank you.
Some of the best students I've ever had in my life were about 9.
Uh-huh.
And that way you still have your magical abilities intact. And you also have a brilliant mind so that you can ask questions of the animals. You are exactly the right age to start this. So I've got a book called The Winged One. I illustrated it, and it's going to be the perfect book for you.
We'll get it for you. Thank you so much.
Right.
Done.
And I have a lot of 9-year-olds, 9 to 11, reading straight from the horse's mouth. They get it. It makes perfect sense to you when you're that age.
Oh, yes.
You're not corrupt yet.
Exactly. I totally agree.
That's all this is if you cannot do this work, it's corruption. Your wiring's corrupt. And it's because of trauma and getting beat up and getting lied to about who we are and what we're capable of and the way these animals should be treated and the way that the plants and the water and the earth should be treated. They're wrong and we're right, and nothing will ever change that. So it's getting really clear and strong. So Amy, would you please tell them? I can't believe how many people came through and there were no wrong guesses. Favorite other dog, big black dog, huge black dog.
Her favorite dog was actually a chocolate lab. Yep, close, very, very close. Chocolate lab, my ex-boyfriend's dog, without a doubt.
Wow.
Yep, yeah. And other than that, we're really not around any other dogs too much, other than, walks and stuff, because we live alone. But she loves all dogs, all especially big dogs. She loves all dogs. She loves everybody. She's just a big love bug.
So, Amy, of the readings that you read, what stuck out to you the most?
One of the girls, I can't remember who it was, but guessed the green ball, which is, she has a green ball and a red ball, her 2 favorite toys. That was right on the money. And that most definitely is her favorite toy. It's pretty much the only time she makes any noise. She's a very gentle, very quiet, loving, passive little puppy. And the only time she barks is at this toy. I throw it up in the air and she goes, yip! Like a big, yippee, And otherwise, she's really not your typical Yorkie, everybody. She's not yipping all the time and peeing all over the house. I'm very blessed. And I hope you can see her. She really is just the best dog ever. I take her everywhere, and she's so well behaved. And she's definitely not alpha, though. She just follows me around, and she's very gentle and loving. Very sweet.
What would you think is her favorite food? A lot of people agreed with me with the cold in the mouth, and then you verified why. She kept saying anything cold, ice cream, ice, anything, because she's got the memory of trying to get through that pain and not really knowing what to do to try to her gums. So you can also
because she just
dental extractions.
Yes, she had the dental. So in March, she had some teeth removed because the cold threw me off because she never gets cold because I thought she would be sensitive. She's actually never had ice cream. But it makes sense that Irby said that because it's probably, you know, to help numb her mouth, although it was a few months ago, but we can try it for sure. Her favorite food other than that is definitely chicken liver.
Yeah.
But we can try it for cold for sure. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's a wonderful high protein fresh food for your dogs and cats, and it's practically free. So if they want to get fantastic iron and meat, chicken livers are the way to go. I mean, with all animals, really. I mean, it's rich.
Organic.
Boy, does it work better?
Yeah.
It's cheaper than canned food, and it works better as far as
100%. There's more nutrition in organs than anything on the planet, or they're more condensed nutrition than anything. So she loves organ meats.
Now, Amy, when you said she was having some physical issues, and then when you tell us about what happened on your adventure.
Yeah, okay, so she's going to be 14 in 2 months, but no one ever believes it because she looks like a puppy, and she's very, very healthy. Although she's been through a lot. She had, you know, the little dogs can have the slippery patella, the slippery kneecap. So she had knee surgery several years ago, recovered like a champ. But last year, she blew out her other ACL, so her other knee. But we were able to not have surgery. Plus, you know, the older the dog gets, the more precarious it is to have surgery. So I physically rehabbed her and have her on like the most pristine diet, and she's fine. Like she didn't have the ACL, but she's okay. But she's got some back issues from some tumbles that she's taken, playing with, keeping up with the big dogs. She's done some tumbles. So I think, you know, every now and then I think her little SI joint goes out a little bit. But we manage it fine. But the main thing that happened that Amelia was referring to with the email and the instructions for us was I recently, just this past May, went down. I work with a mentor, a very good friend of mine who's a shaman, and we did some healing work for me. Charlotte was with me, and we didn't really plan on this happening, but we did a healing session, and I ended up going into a past life regression. And if anybody's ever done these kind of medicines, it's not something you're like, oh, I'm going to do this. It's more like, okay, what do I need to heal that's blocking me in my life right now? Yeah, and that came up for me. So it was unexpected. It was extremely intense. And Charlotte was right there with me the whole time. So as a mom, I was worried about her.
Share a little bit about what you experienced, because then they're going to understand what Charlotte was responding to. Now, I also immediately, she said, I couldn't do my job. I couldn't do my job. I said, what's your job? And she said, to protect her. I couldn't go where she went, and I couldn't save her. So she felt completely helpless. You were suddenly traumatized. And where you went was something that was so negative and so violent. And as your spirit protector, she couldn't go into that dark place. And it upset her immensely that she couldn't go with you there to get you out of there. Now, are you comfortable to tell us a little bit about what happened in that regression?
Yeah, obviously it's like really deep, but it's okay to say it with my niece. Basically, I don't know if people believe in, you know, our spirits and our souls being eternal and having multiple lives, but I went into a situation where I entered one of my past lives, and I was a warrior, like a Viking knight, and we were in a terrible battle. It was like Game of Thrones type gore and violent, extremely vivid. I was in immense pain because I basically was stabbed by a what they call it, not escaping me, the big, huge, slipping my mind. It's not a sword. It'll come to me. But anyway, someone on the other side on a horse had one of those huge sword things on a horse and came charging at me from across the battlefield and basically impaled my abdomen. And
Spear?
Hmm?
Spear?
No, the huge thing. It's 20 times bigger than it. Were those things, you know, the huge, they look like a huge long log, but with a point at the end of it.
Lance.
No, bigger than that. I'll think of it. Thanks.
Bayonet.
Nope, much bigger than that. I wrote it down. Later I'll go look at my notes because I had to document the whole thing to integrate it, but it'll come to me. So it was pretty horrific. It was pretty graphic, and let me tell you, it was 4 straight hours of pain. I mean, if a woman is, I've never given birth to a baby, but I can't imagine labor being any worse than this. And my shaman was pulling every trick in the book, trying to calm my body and down. But Charlotte was laying next to me the whole time. I mean, you guys, I was like screaming. I mean, I was in immense pain because basically I was dying. I was being killed. I was dying. So my body, it was a psychic memory, a psychic wound of a physical wound. And I was reliving it. And I basically, just in a nutshell, not to take up all this time, but it was a 3-day event that I lived through because I remember specifically being in the battlefield and then the battle being over and they left me for dead because I had this thing impaled in my body. And I went through 3 days and 3 nights cycle with all the little creatures and animals around me. I remember seeing the moon and then still being in so much pain. I remember being paralyzed. I couldn't move. I mean, I can go into more detail. It was really graphic. It was rough. It was painful. It was violent. And to Amelia's point, Charlotte couldn't come with me because it was a past life. So Charlotte wasn't with me in that life to protect me and to be my little spirit guide, which I know very much she is. In fact, I have a name for her. I call her Gambit because I also did a personal myth regression, and Charlotte's been with me in past lives. But in that life, she wasn't with me. So Amelia, you're right on the money. It's just that she was traumatized because in that situation, she wasn't there. But here in real life, bone and flesh, that day, here's Mom, like basically being impaled. And so she was hearing that. So it was horrible. So I was worried about her listening to me. And that was in May. So we've been home about 2.5, 3 weeks. And Charlotte is much better now. And so am I, recovered. So that's kind of what we were referring to of what Amy did. I didn't do it intentionally, trust me.
Well, if you think of this, they see every thought in your brain as if they're watching a television set. So animals are, when they walk in or you walk in, they see everything. They see the thoughts in your mind. They feel your emotions. So for her, that was as much as real time as your normal life now, because she's seeing it. So you're going through it and she doesn't know how to fix it.
And for me, I'll say too, I don't know if anybody's ever had that experience, but it was 100% real. Like my stomach, I felt it all. I mean, it was just as real as it was actually happening. There's no question she felt it too.
Yeah, she felt it.
And somebody mentioned, Amelia, about her having a sensitive stomach or digestion. One of the students picked up on that, and I think it's related because of the gut wound I had. That she was feeling that gut wound. Somebody picked up on that too.
She's also got to navigate with the few amount of teeth.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
That makes digestion hard.
Yes.
I take enzymes every day, and animals can take them too. And enzymes are the cure-all for belly issues. And of course, your probiotics in the morning.
Yes, she gets that.
Awesome.
Yep, thank you.
So I just would like to suggest that you go into the opposite next time you go into meditation and prayer, into the most powerful life you've ever had, the happiest life you've ever had. And
I love that.
Even though the one that she showed me with the queen, that's just the way things were done. Arranged marriages were the way things were done. Especially if you're trying to keep peace between countries, you'd marry off your daughter to the warring tribe. So one of the questions that came up here, and I didn't set out I'm not beating a drum about anything. I'm sharing with you experiences that have happened throughout this 30 years of watching people discover this process all over the world. If I ask people in a room, and there are 100 students in a room, how many of you feel like you have an animal you've had before? 90% of the hands go up. And how do you know that it is them? And sometimes people say, I just know. I look them into the eyes and knew. So it's like recognizing a family member. I mean, of course you're going to know, but that feeling, there are things that are quite mysterious, and angels can incarnate as animals. Guardian spirits can incarnate as animals. We can beam into animals. So we can also experience life as an animal because we have more flexibility than we're being told that we do. That is not to say that this particular model of body was not created as an ascension vehicle. It was. So this human creation is a divine creation that's supposed to be helping us access our chakra system and find out what it can do, so that we have available to us these attributes that you can remote view. You fly to a different part of the world and look at the shark, or look at the leopard, or look at the elephant, or look at the giraffe. What's going on there? You can do that. You can look at a photo and you have mobility of consciousness. You can go wherever they are and experience life through them. And Edgar Cayce talks about this body being created. So the humans came from Africa. This particular model that was altered and genetically altered, and also in very positive ways, that has within it all of the different genetic codes of all sorts of different beings. This was made in the Middle East. So the Garden of Eden was Iraq, Iran. It was the Tigris Euphrates River Valley. This model was created for us to be incarnate in it over and over and over and over and over, until we learn how to enter the fifth dimensional realm of unconditional love, which breaks the karma. As soon as you forgive everything and everyone, as soon as you are committed to holding this light and this joy and this happiness and this hope and this comfort, you're no longer in the three-dimensional world. You're no longer subject to karma and cause and effect. You're not part of that system anymore. And a lot of you never were. And a lot of your reincarnational memories are downloads. Some of them you may actually have been there experiencing that. There are other ones where our subconscious mind, so the other part of our brain, had to be loaded with memories if you're not from Earth at all, so that there's something to fall back on. And you think, oh, well, in this life, I learned that and I have this experience, so I can function in this new realm, because you're not from here at all. So you think that you remember this and this and this and this. I have at least 50, but I have to determine, was I really there, or was that a download? It's why everybody thinks they were Marilyn Monroe. Everybody thinks they were Mary Magdalene. Everyone thinks that they're channeling Archangel Michael. And you are and you aren't. You were and you weren't. Because that part of experience of being Mother Mary, Mother Magdalene, it's a part of all of us. We're starting to find that experience again. But a lot of these things were movies you watched on TV. That when you're up on the ship, you watched all these movies to get you ready to come down here. And you may be a blend of the two. If you are completely alien and you are from another world, you were probably here in the very, very beginning, before anything went wrong. And you have an awareness of that. If you remember Lemuria and Mu and the beginning of coming here, which also happened in Egypt and the Middle East. That's where most of us landed. And that was before the whole human experience. But what's happening right now is it's all coming back together. All your puzzle pieces are coming back together. And that's why, as I'm teaching this, I'm not asking you to do it the way I do it. I'm asking you to find it within yourself. And it's incredibly personal for each one of us. Sometimes if you're in the presence of cancer, you look at a photo, the animal has cancer, you smell a bad smell. Maybe your body's going to respond in a different way. Your stomach gets upset. You want to cry. You have this sinking feeling, but it's different for everyone. And each one of you has a unique instrument and unique experiences. And we're learning how to use it and strengthen these core muscles in you. So does anyone have questions? Anything you want Amy to confirm about Charlotte? Is she lonely? Has she had puppies? How does she feel about that? Now, with some of you, the questions, and I just wrote this to Amy Painter, the reason I get more information than you is because I ask more questions than you. When I get in there with them, I'll say, okay, what was your favorite holiday? What's your favorite time of year? What's your favorite trees? What's your favorite flower? What's your favorite memory in your whole life? What do you love about her so much? What kind of music does she listen to at home? Does she dance at home? I mean, I'm going to continue the conversation as if I'm talking to a person. And a lot of you, you're squelching yourself. You'll write down one word and then you think you've done it. That's the very beginning of it. That's not the end of it. Questions at all about this? Who's on the 314 phone? Would you unmute yourself so I get to know who you are? 314753. Who is that?
Yeah, this is Ann Markham.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Thanks. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't miss it. I was on my way home, though. That's why I had to call in.
All right, got you. So Maya, I'm going to put you on next. Maya's the one who wrote all those wonderful questions, and I didn't get to answer them. Ask to unmute. Okay, Maya, you're on.
Hi everyone. Okay, my questions. The first question was, when you're communicating with animals, is it through thoughts, feelings, emotions, and pictures and images? And I think you've answered that, but I mean, like, how do you know, or a knowingness, how do you know which one it is? Because it's I think from what I understand what you're saying, it's not like English being translated back to you. So how is it that we I see a picture, but you and I can decipher that differently, that image, right? If you see an image, whatever the dog gives you, like a bone, right?
Mm-hmm.
One can say he likes that bone, one can say he doesn't like that bone, one can say he was hit with that bone. Like, how do you know what that means?
Okay, so let's say that with your thought, with your words, as we're talking, we're visualizing the things that we're talking about. And I may be describing a feeling or an object or an activity or a memory. But no matter what those things are, there's a three-dimensional replica that we're volleying back and forth. So even when we're talking to each other, we're playing high-speed tennis with three-dimensional holograms. So let's say I want to ask the dog, what's your favorite food? I'm going to send you a vision of a food bowl. I'm going to picture him hungry, and I'm going to envision him filling that food bowl up with something. But what you're doing, trying to bitmap the whole, you're dicing it up. Is it this, or this? Okay, let's say that cupcakes are coming out of the oven and you're hungry. So you're probably smelling them. You are seeing them. your mouth starts to water because you want to eat them. Physically, maybe you're hungry, so you're having an emotional response. I can't wait to eat them. And then emotionally, you're having a response because of what it reminds you of and what it triggers, and cupcakes, pure joy. So when we're using this, we're already doing it. Now, what scientists are discovering, and they're discovering it literally, this is not a spiritual thing. This is math. This is physics. It's science. When a whale sends out sonar, the thought carries with it a replica of the thing. So let's say that here is this whale, and there's a boat coming that has humans on it. The whales are able to determine where is the boat, how many people are on the boat, is it armed, does it have nuclear capacity on the boat, what's the shape of the boat, how fast is the boat traveling, what direction is the boat traveling, has all that information. So let's say that this whale wants to give a warning to another whale. The whale is going to send out sonar, which disturbs the water. That's you searching. That's your squelch is open and you're searching the field. So I'm looking on a wave of silent, unconditional love. And I'm looking for disturbances in the field. Disturbances in the field, there's going to be some activity over here. Okay, what's that? That's the boat coming toward the whales. This whale's going to deliver that information to that whale. And as it does so, it actually has on the thought. This is what scientists have discovered. A three-dimensional replica of the sender. Now, when the language of miracles is about quantum processes, and those words were given to me by Captain Edgar Mitchell, the astronaut. So in this idea, your thought has with it a holographic three-dimensional replica of the object, or of the sender, or of the emotion. We all know what loneliness feels like. We all know what hunger is. We all know what thirst is. We all know what physical pain is. So when we're sending each other those vibrations, it's like radio waves. You're making music. I'm sending you the thought of pain in the body. Go find it. What you know in your own body, what that pain is, it's going to recognize that pain in that horse and match up with it and come back with it. And you'll go, oh yeah, that's pain in his hip. I know that because I've had it myself. So that's the point of the suffering, that we all come into this world thinking, why did I have to suffer all this? Why was my childhood so hard? Why has my heart been broken? Why have I been abused and let down so many times? So that we have the experience of what that feels like. Because if you don't have that experience, you can't counsel people. You've got to be able to say, yeah, wow, I know what that pain felt like. I know what that confusion feels like. So this is just your encyclopedia. This is your arsenal of vibratory rates. There are other things where I can't even recognize it. And if I'm training somebody who's a veterinarian, that veterinarian's going to have a library of information inside of her. It could be this virus, that bacteria, this protozoa, this parasite, this. She's got more inside of her. But every one of you has your own, you have your own palette of colors. Some of you, those of you that are musicians, you're more auditory, you're more likely to hear through there that she's afraid of the thunder. She hears the dog barking in the next apartment. She likes to hear the birds outside singing. She likes the sound of running water because you're in touch with that part of yourself that listens. Each one of you has a different way of perceiving things. If you're an artist, you're going to be more visual, design oriented. If you're mathematical, you're going to have a whole different arsenal. That's why it's important that each one of us is different, because you have the capacity to bring in information according to what your own attributes are. Now, I've talked about this before, but it's hilarious. When I had a magazine article years ago, and I had a student named Yvette Knight, who's terrifying. She's so she's so psychic. You can tell you how many fillings are in your mouth. I swear. I've never seen anything like this girl in my life. It's genetic. Her little brother is the same. They were born on the Isle of Man, and they just are born that way. But I was given a magazine article in England, and I was busy and I didn't want to do it. I didn't have time. Also, it was going to be very stressful. And I gave it to Yvette. And as those of you get certified, and I trust you, you're going to get more and more of these things because I'm going to give them to you. And with this one, they had pictures of 5 different animals and 5 different men. And the trick was, it was for a men's magazine. They wanted me to identify which animal went with what man. That's why the questions you ask are so important. Because Yvette asked questions I never would have asked. Because she's a different person and she thinks differently. So with these 5 guys, one of them, she was looking at a Persian cat, and she said, what does your man like to drink? Well, they drink a lot of alcohol in the UK. So I never would have thought to ask that. She smells rum. And and the cat's horrified and said, oh, they drank too much rum last night. Oh, it was disgusting. They threw it up. It smelled awful. So her guys passed out all over the floor. Well, come to find out, the guy and his buddies had done something called the rum challenge to see how many shots of rum they could drink. Well, the cat described it. Of course she did, because she's complaining about it. So she knows this man goes with that Persian cat. Then she's got all these other creatures. And one of them, she said to one of the animals, how does your father get along with the ladies? Which is another thing I never would have thought to ask. And then come to find out, the guy's all shy and tongue-tied and can't get a date. So she knows this guy goes with that animal. So it was, of course, she got all 5 men and all 5 animals right, matched up, because each animal described her father's personality. So that's why I'm saying, ask your own questions. Start maneuvering this around. So you're not a little kid in school waiting for me to tell you what to ask. Start your own conversation with them. So what is going on here? Where'd you get this? What's a parasite? What's it for? And then the more you get into this space, the clearer things are going to get. That's when you can clear it. You clear your mind so you can hear things. That's where Winning Mood said, I got it in Qatar from the water. And as a parasite, the horses got at the show in Qatar. Well, almost 3 horses almost died. It's finding this place inside of yourself and then cultivating it, getting more comfortable with it. So the reason humans are so hard to communicate with is because the pictures that are coming into your mind don't match what they're saying. And the emotions that are coming from them rarely match what they're saying. People try to hide things, people lie. You've been lied to your whole life as a small child, being with your parents saying, I'm not crying, we're not fighting, I'm not mad. And so some part of you is violated, you're broken. Like, wait a minute. But that's what that feels like. When mother's upset and fighting with dad and crying, that's what it feels like. And then someone came along to you and took it from you. Said, no, that is not what it feels like. And so we're learning, wait a minute, I was right all along. That's what that felt like. So that your ability to receive information and to get validated is this ability for you to start getting to know yourself again and getting to trust these parts of yourself again. So that, and it's always in retrospect, when we look back and say, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I knew they were lying. I knew I shouldn't have trusted that car in front of me because I knew they were going to cut me off. But why is it you can't trust that first? In time, the more you trust that intuition first, that's going to become who you are. That's your identity. Because from that point on, you can say, I know it because I felt it. And then you memorize the feeling and you log it. When I'm training doctors, that's what I'm trying to get them to do. This is what diabetes feels like. You don't have to test for it. This isn't the Middle Ages. This is what cancer feels like. You should know that already. You've been in the presence of it all these times. So we're learning, okay, this is what this is. This is what that is. This is what a bacteria feels like. It does not feel like a virus. A virus is different. And when we are learning, okay, the whole thing is inside you. You're the chef. And you're learning about your ingredients of what's in your pantry. So that this whole female vessel has so much wisdom in it, and we've been paid to not pay attention. I mean, we've been taught, don't look at the man behind the curtain, the great and powerful Oz, because he's a fake, and you're not. Whatever you're being taught is not real. What's real is what is coming from your own perceptions. So when I ask a piece of information and I get an answer, there's not necessarily words attached to it. There would be words if I say, what's his name? And they say, oh, it's Simon. Oh, Simon, thank you for telling. So then it does. But that the thoughts coming in from them, the impressions, it could simply just be a feeling. Like with Charlotte, does she know? She knows. I'm not saying she's alpha and dominant and bossy. What I'm saying is that she knows that she is one of the most beautiful creatures that ever lived. She's certain of it because dogs throw themselves at her. They make fools of themselves over her. And so that's why she's a little bit like, ooh, because he could charge her. And it's not because he's trying to hurt her. It's because they're all so attracted to her because she's the cutest thing on earth. And she knows that. And she's actually quite full of herself. Now, Amy, there were funny things that I shouldn't be saying in front of your 8-year-old niece. What I was going to say, what I'm trying to get you all to say, with this dog, I mean, he was uncut. So her thing was to walk between his back legs and look up and go, oh my God. And then she teases other big dogs. She taunts them. She brings it upon herself. Now, in this way, she might be a little bit more like you, Amy, than we're willing to out you, because she'll go up to a big dog and go, where are your balls? What happened to your balls? Oh, did the humans take your balls? Well, my ex-boyfriend had really big balls. They were like, melons. Well, what happened to your balls? And so, I mean, she's naughty and she provokes it. So we're going back to this idea that if you were a dog and your nasal passages were unraveled, they'd be the size of a football field. If you were a human's nasal passages would be the size of a postage stamp. So the feeling of it, and this is also kind of with your question, there's more than just an image of it. There's the smell of it. There's this intoxicating, if you take that musty feeling times 1,000,000, and then you connect it to her hormones and her sexual drive, which is strong. So you're thinking of her as being really angelic, and she isn't. This is what's so funny about her. She's naughty and her sexuality is huge. So whether she's acted upon it or not, it's a fun thing to talk about with them. Have you ever had sex? Have you ever wanted to have sex? Well, she said, no, but everybody wants to have sex with me, but I'm not attracted to them because they don't have any balls. Like, where are your balls? What happened to your balls? You wouldn't think that she does that. And it's another thing that ties into the whole thing with victims and because you don't hear what the other animal said. You see one cat just lose it and have to go beat up another cat. But you didn't hear what the other one said when it walked past and said, hey, stupid, got no teeth, huh? Getting awfully old there. You look awfully fat today. You might as well get up. I'm going to go eat your food. Now, that was passing the other one. The one that looks like he couldn't take it anymore and goes and attacks her, that's not the problem. The problem is what was said. So the whole way thoughts work, this is just a language. And that language has been, this is the soundtrack of a movie. But you can turn the sound off on your television and you see what's happening. You see that the person's crying, you see that they're fighting, you see everything. You pretty much have a good idea of what the story is and what they're feeling. You don't need the soundtrack. So if you travel a lot like I do, and you watch things that are in languages that you don't speak, you see that the way that we're describing an experience, it's not the most important thing about an experience. In fact, and it's probably not even true. Some of the words that are chosen to accompany something are not matching up at all with what's really going on. So that's a quantum hologram is a three-dimensional replica that carries with it all the information from the sender. On the one hand, it can be, here's a glass of tea. It's an object. It has an experience. What color is your food bowl? What's your favorite food? There's an experience. What color is your blanket? Where is it in the house? And then you find it and you start expounding upon it. Why do you like this spot so much? What do you see from here? Oh, the dog can see the front door. The dog can see down the stairs. Those things are important to dogs. The mailman might show up. He needs to be barked at. So there are three-dimensional replicas of objects and of certain experiences. It doesn't have anything to do with language. Then you start cultivating and listening and squeezing out words for the first time. And then you discover that the words were correct. And then that part of you starts to develop. What was the next question? Maya, I'm coming back to you.
The next question. Right. So when you ask a question, how can you tell that they're talking about like the past, present, or future?
Such a good question. It's really being able to discern energetic patterns and to ask, is this happening in real time? Now, every single question that you ask of an animal is a memory. If we ask, what's your favorite food? They have to show us what it was last time they ate it. How is your body feeling right now? As opposed to how was it feeling yesterday? Sometimes the pain that they have is just like with us. It might be something you're going to feel for the day, and tomorrow it'll be gone. Then you ask, is this chronic? How long has this been with you? And that's a slightly different way of viewing something. And then we can go into the body and ask questions about things that haven't happened yet. I get asked a lot, I mean, would this cat like to have her arm amputated, or does she want to go to heaven? And I'm volleying those images and feelings back and forth. This is what it would be like if you had to live through the pain of the amputation and walk on 3 legs. Dogs are a lot more likely to say yes, and cats are a lot likely to say no. Cats are happy to go to heaven and get a new body and come back. And once you do understand reincarnation, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So it takes some of the agony out of it all, and you'll have a lot more magic, because it hurts to lose them, but nothing's more wonderful fun than having them come back and realizing it's them again in a new body. So they teach us about life and death. But we can ask what would happen and get as best ideas we can, what would happen if you had a chiropractic adjustment. And maybe they don't, I mean, you're talking to the soul. The soul of the animal would have a pretty good idea about it. But there's a part that is always a little bit fuzzy. As if somebody said, would you feel better if you had a chiropractic adjustment? And maybe you don't know. Like, I don't know. The hardest thing with them is if you've got one that's really been traumatized and you say, what would make you happy? Maybe they don't know, or they've had some happy experiences, and that's what you're looking for. So learning how to navigate the space and time of it, is this pain happening right now? Then we can start making more complicated conversations. What was the worst pain you've ever been in? What was it? And that way you're doing either the autopsies on them from heaven, or in this case, going into the past with Charlotte. The teeth have healed now, but the trauma of wanting cold things in her mouth is still there because it was the only thing that could help her through it. It's just practice and discernment, really, of what's happening right now and what's past and what's future. Maya, what was the next question?
It ties into what you said. So it's kind of how some things are harder to send out from words into pictures. Like, how are you, like, how, what would make you happy, as you were saying, or how are you, or what was the worst pain you've had, like you mentioned, like how, because an image is an image, and then when it's like a movie, it's many images one after another that's being flipped through really fast, right? So I just yeah,
And
sorry.
or think of it's a holographic experience. So if I'm going to ask the animal, how are you? How are you feeling? They are the lead character in the movie. And you're going to put yourself in their point of view. What does it feel like inside their movie when they're the heroine of the movie or the hero? You're not in your body anymore. You're in this dog's body or this horse's body or this tiger's body. You're experiencing the world holographically through their eyes. So it's not just one simple thing. It's a movie clips. Now you might get snapshots of images, but when I talk about the person who said, I knew I was in the dog's body because I was chasing the squirrel up the tree, that was a movie clip. And the movie clip has with it emotion, it has with it physical sensation, it has the joy of it, it has with it the excitement. I'm going to chase, and you're seeing what they see and you're feeling what they feel, and you're in their body. So this is you developing your imagination. You have to imagine that you are them, and you have to trust your imagination and stop negating all the times where you're thinking, I must be making it up. Why? Why would you be making that up? I mean, I know that when I drink this, it's going to be wet. I know that. It's going to be cold. It's iced tea with honey in it. Why would my conversation with an animal be less valid than the experience I'm having right now in my own body? I'm not more important than they are. I want to be able to be them. And when you become them, you get to learn because we see things through their point of view. So it's a new way of accessing information, but it's no different from Facebook or YouTube or your videos on your computer that you'll watch that and think it's real. So why would this not be? You're using your imagination to access things, and the imagination receives information as well as sends it out. Maya, what was next? She sent me this wonderful list of questions.
Hi, okay. So how sometimes when you're like behind, like there's a horse and it looks at you, and then all of a sudden it turns around and it shows its butt to you, but you're still transmitting something, and then eventually the horse will turn around and come to you. And how do you transmit? How is a thought submitted? Like, I know it's in various ways, but how is it submitted? Because sometimes maybe they just don't want to talk to you. Maybe just they're happy chewing and they're like, I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm having fun eating. You're bothering me.
Ask permission first. Do you want to talk to me? And you also can ask permission for them to give you some sort of physical sign if they are alive on earth. Let's say it's your own cat. Now, people come in the room and the cat's sound asleep, and the people come in, flip the lights on, start screaming and disturb the cat. And then the cat may run under the bed and people say, oh, my cat's afraid of everything. The cat's afraid of you acting like a jerk, which is what all humans do. So rather than, who comes into the room and says, I don't want to upset the cat? My cat's sleeping, I'm not going to turn on the light. You can't be loud, my cat's sleeping. Nobody does that. So we don't respect them, therefore they refuse to speak to us. If you do the opposite, they're going to hit their REM cycle at about 3 p.m. So that's like somebody coming into your house at 4 a.m. when you're sound asleep and flipping on the lights and being loud. Now, if we're learning, okay, what's important to them? What is love going to be like? What is respect like? Now, I have a whole thing, and I'm going to send it to you because it was part of your program here. The whole permission to pet thing with the cat. The 2 blinks. 1 blink, wait for the cat to mirror your blink. 2nd blink means I love you. Wait for the cat to mirror your blink. As you're approaching, the first thing you do, you're beaming out this rainbow of love from your heart. You're silent. No squealing, no baby talk. They hate that. Nope, none of that. Beaming out unconditional love from your heart. Sending the thought to them, you are the most beautiful thing I've ever lived. I'm so honored to be in your presence. Thank you for living with me. You are the most beautiful thing in my life. Now, chances are that cat's going to respond to that thought. Maybe roll over and look at you and stretch the paws out and say, oh, thank God you noticed. At long last, someone noticed how spectacular I am. And then it's the permission to pet. Wait until they touch your nose. Now, if you do it every single time, Patricia, this is for you. I just feel like your cats want me to tell you this. Every single time, I will never reach for one of my own. Permission to pet. Would you like to be touched right now? Let me know if you want to be touched right now. Now, every step of the way, they have the right to say no to me. They even have the right to scratch me if they want, because I was rude and I didn't do it right. So I'm always coming in reverent of them, not demanding anything. Would you like to talk? They have the right to say no. So we're not invasively reading their minds. And then if I wait for an indication, give me an indication. If I'm working with a bunny, parrots have their own calming signals. Everything's the way they don't stare. It's one eye only with all the animals that have eyes on either side of their heads. With a parrot, it's going to be the top of the head to you. And the parrot will go top of the head to you, and they'll come over. So watching, what are their calming signals about? How do they react to each other? Do I have permission to do this? And it's giving a respect. And then they'll be more forthcoming if they want to talk about something, because you approached respectfully. It's not just barging in and being rude. Sometimes they want to communicate with you, sometimes they don't. Well, they'll say, I'm busy. I'll talk to you later. It's the same thing with the cats. I'll finish the food later. Don't come take their bowl away. Well, they don't like it. They won't eat that. Now I had to give them something else. Well, I said I'll take a bite, but I'm going to go take a nap for a couple hours and then I'll come back and have a little more. If you could hear them, you could hear that. So we're not just always assuming that we have the right to come in and do something, because we don't. The more respectful you are, the more information they're going to share with you. And they don't always want to talk. That's for sure. They don't always want to talk about the painful thing. That's for sure. We ask, would you like to share a painful memory with me? And they have the right to say no. Maya, what was next on your question list?
I think that was it. You hit everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The thought, now when you're thinking, you're sending pictures out into the world around you. That's why positive thinking works. It's why negative thinking works. That when the negative thing manifests and you say, I knew that was going to happen, chances are you made it happen. Or else you were intuiting the possibility of it happening and not acknowledging that part of yourself. So when we're thinking, we're sending these thoughts and emotions out into the world around us. Every animal's doing the same thing. The difference is what's going to make the two waves meet so that now they receive the thought that I'm sending and I can hear the thought that they're sending back to me. What makes that device possible? When in the language of miracles, the technical term for it is phase quantum adaptive resonance, phase conjugate adaptive resonance. That means when two waves meet, they become twice as strong. If we want to access their thoughts and feelings, and we're sending out, and our thoughts don't match up with their thoughts, because this wave is going to go right through this wave. So you're this and the cat's that, and you're not going to hit them. How do I make this wave match that wave? And that's going into this peace,
Yeah.
this joy, this love, this silence. This wave is an arc of energy that comes out, peacefully greeting the other one and creating this wave. Hold on 1 second. Robert, I'm doing my webinar. Can you give me maybe 30 minutes? Sure. Thank you. Sorry about that. Does anyone else have a question about anything?
I have a question. I'm just wondering your opinion on like doing readings for like other people or stuff, like without getting your actual conscious, buy-in. I've heard different teachers have different thoughts about that, like doing remote readings for people without them knowing it and all that, like getting into their soul energy and what your feeling is on that.
I don't. So I personally, you wait for an invitation and you wait for permission. If it's a situation where you see and it's a friend that you feel might be open or family member, well, maybe isn't. But if you were to say, I'm studying animal communication, I have an impression that might help you with your dog. Do you want to hear it? Now, even with the paying clients I have, I'm always going to say, I'm picking up something that might be really emotional or painful or humiliating. It could upset you. This is probably going to make you cry. Do you want to hear it? Now, this is one of those universal laws. If they say yes, you have permission to deliver the information. If they say no, you don't have the right to go tell them, I don't like the way you're handling your animal. You've got to find a way that person is going to be receptive. If it's a next door neighbor and they're doing something awful, like the dog's on a chain or left alone all day, and we all have to deal with those awful situations. So I do not approve of it. I believe that you need permission And the more open the person is, the more information you're going to get. It's hard to read skeptics. Even for me, if they come in, I don't, but I don't even want to look. I don't want to know. I don't want to connect with them. But when they come in loving and in tears saying, I love my animal more than anything in the world, and I don't understand why all these animals are being abused and why the earth is being hurt this way. And I'm just so honored that you took this time. Then I've got an open tunnel there, an avenue, because my heart's going to really touch her heart and meet with her heart, because I love her heart. And that's why this group, it's so easy to connect with each other, because we're all coming from the same place. And you're going to create opposition if you go and hit somebody over the head with an axe, and they're going to hit you back. They're not going to listen. Does that answer your question? Any other questions? Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else have a question?
Who was the astronaut behind you, you said?
In my second book, it's called The Language of Miracles. And
Okay.
the astronaut that helped me write that book is named Edgar Mitchell. So he flew 3 Apollo missions. And when he came back from the moon, Ed started something called the Institute of Noetic Science. And the Institute of Noetic Science was the first scientific study group of quantum physicists and the world's top geniuses who were studying psychic phenomena. So Ed said they had, a lot of this comes out of Russia. That's where some of the most powerful psychics come from. Children could teleport objects into locked metal boxes. That's hardcore. And they were studying when he was on the moon and people were on the earth. He and another astronaut set up experiments of when they were going to send each other a thought. They knew that thought was real. They knew that thought could travel. They knew that thought had a lifespan, but they didn't know how far it could travel from Earth, or if it could travel faster than speed of light. And they would have a certain time of day that they set up mathematical equations, and they would send the thoughts back and forth and read each other's minds. So what they discovered is that this is called non-locality. There is no space and time in the world of non-locality. In the world of non-locality, everything is one. That animal's inside you. You are them and they are you. Because in that experience, you're everything that Mother Earth is.
Friday.
Trisha,
But I
you're
thought,
next,
no,
honey.
I'll just
Trisha,
wait.
Trisha, Trisha,
I should have had the
Trisha. Should I hear me? Oh no. I don't think I can mute her. Let me see if I can mute her. Oh, I can. Okay, I just learned something. So get the book, you'll love it. It's a marvelous group of fun ideas. And I think we even succeeded in making it funny. Any other questions here? Now, I don't know if I put on YouTube music, well, can you hear it? I'm learning my way around this program for the first time. I'm gonna try it. Amy, can they hear it if I play my YouTube?
Go to the bottom toolbar, you'll see share screen.
Yeah.
And then go to advanced settings and then hit share music.
Okay, let me see.
So share screen.
Okay, I got there.
And then you should see like 3 tabs. I think it's the second one, share advanced settings.
Oh, okay. I got share sound. You want me? Okay.
There, that's it. And then just remember to undo it when you're ready to turn it off.
All right. Okay, I'm going to try something. So I would like you all to get yourself, if you need to go take a potty break, do it now. I want you to have a little bit of room around you because we're going to move. We're going into Cobra. And go ahead and grab yourself a drink, push your stuff back, If you want a little bit of space to move, and all we're going to do is just activate those lower chakras and start moving the energy. Cobra Goddess, the most powerful of all. One quick little break. Okay, I'm going to try it a different way. So it's asking for all sorts of complicated hoops to get hopped through and downloading all sorts of stuff. Let's see if my phone will play it. Let me show you the horse that we're working with. In case I don't get this together, maybe I'll have it ready by Tuesday. Oh, okay. Okay, at least I got this one going. Okay, I've got sound on my phone. So what I'm going to share with you now is about your own female power, your own body, your own vessel that can receive and send out information. I'm reading to you from a book called Grandmother's Secrets. It's pretty rare in this world, I find a book that is this well written. It's a mesmerizing book. And it's about belly dancing, but believe it or not, it's a genius book. So this was the part I wanted to read. Belly dancing was created for women. It wasn't about being sexy. It wasn't about entertaining anybody. It didn't have anything to do with the men. Women did it in their own quarters. And it was to celebrate every aspect of their lives. And when this little girl turned 9 and got her period, she was required to dance in front of a large group of people. This was about her claiming her own rite of passage. This just touched my heart. I can't even tell you how much. So here the little girl's absolutely terrified, the author of this book. She says, then my eyes fell on my grandmother. She was sitting quietly among the guests, and her eyes stroked me briefly. Her calm gaze gave me confidence, and I glided deeper into the circling movements. Slowly, the audience disappeared, and soon I didn't even notice my grandmother anymore. The audience disappeared. That's what's happening when I'm doing a reading. Nothing exists but that animal. Nothing exists but the animal. Your concentration is so complete, the world around you disappears. You disappear. Everything disappears. There's no opposition to what you're experiencing through their eyes. Slowly, the audience disappeared, and soon I didn't even notice my grandmother any longer. I heard my heartbeat and give me the rhythm. I felt my body dissolve in movements much older than me. This thing that you're engaging in with me, learning how to telepath, it's older than you. It was already here before you were born. You're engaging in an action that exists on its own. It's waiting for you to discover it. Happiness and pride overwhelmed me, and a deep inner knowledge curled my lips into a smile. I don't know how long I danced because my sense of time had melted into the heat of my dancing. The inner and outer worlds were touching. At that moment, I was neither young nor old. Eternity beckoned inside of me, and I gave in to the call of life and danced with the intensity and fervor of life itself. When I stopped and ran out of the room, I heard the guests clap, and I knew that I had completed my initiation successfully. I was 9 years old, a woman and a child at the same time. She goes on to say, we were both servants and masters of a greater power. We're servants and masters of a greater power. But this whole ability is inside your body, and it's waiting for you to find it and start trusting your own feelings, your impressions, what you're receiving from the world around you. This is a blend. It's called Spanish Nights, but it's a blend of Arabic and Spanish gypsy music. And I'm going to play my favorite for you. But let me get you set up. Gonna go into my favorite song in a minute. This is just wonderfully hypnotic music. I'm gonna put you up high. The method to my madness here, it's about rhythms. The rhythm of the thought coming in, or the rhythm of the animal's feelings, the rhythm of the butterfly or the elephant or the dog or the show horse, it's a different rhythm than your own thinking process. That's how you know it's coming in from them. It's coming in faster, or it's coming in quieter, or it's coming in slowly. But this, the entire process of this communication is about rhythms. That my rhythm has to match their rhythm in order to feel and see their world through their eyes. So you have the ability to adjust what you're sending out. And in this snake, we're going to go into Cobra. You have the ability to sit in peace and power inside yourself and receive information and just take things in or not, and have complete sovereignty over that. Let me see if you can see. I think I'm just going to have to show you. Get planted here. Your Tai Chi move, it's coming from the earth. So get some space around you. The Tai Chi move is connecting to the energy coming out from the center of the earth. And the hands are going to pull up that energy. And this is a great grounding exercise. So simple. You're just going to earth. Feel the power from the center of the earth building up inside your spine. Your hands flip over, sky. And breathe. We're going to do this one 3 times. Take an inhale, that's earth. Bend your knees ever so slightly. Sky. We're gathering energy from the sky, from the angels, from the atmosphere. Earth. Sky. Your breath, you have the ability to send out a question, and you have the ability to gather in the answer. And we're going to work here, pulling energy up from the earth. This is the womb of creation, your whole body. Feel now, feel some of the cobra. Just take your right hip, and we're only going to move that right hip. Lift it, drop it. Lift it, drop it. Lift it, drop it. Lift it, drop it. Go, drop. Take your left one, find it, and drop it. Now take your S circles. So we're making figure eights here. This one circles around, circling around, circling around. Now for a moment, just pretend you are the neck of a cobra, a very big cobra. And she is moving in your spine. Feel it? I'm moving the rib cage. You're moving your rib cage. We're going right, left, right, left, right, left. Move your shoulders, circles. Pelvis, circles. Notice how you change levels. You can go down and up and up. Feel everything starting to let go in here. Other way. The hands in the belly dancing movement. I love this one. It's called Spill the Wine. You're gonna pick up the wine glass and you spill it. You pick it up and you spill it. Pick it up and spill it. Pick it up. Now, let your hands start to move. Confident. The hips are grounded. Let your hands go anywhere they want to go. Dancing with the wrists. You can take this in little circles. Funny, it's very similar to hula in some ways. Imagine around your body is a big pocket of your aura. This is your energy. It's the length of your fingertips. And when you start moving, you're dancing with your own energy. You choose whether to give it or not. Now let yourself go wherever you want to go. I want you wrapped up in your own beauty, just enveloped in your own sexual energy, your creative energy. This is ancient, and if these movements were here long before we were, and they're going to be here long after we're gone. Now feel that cobra. She's coming from the center of the earth. She's coming through your body. She's coming up your spine, and she is big. Let that energy rise. Let it rise. How much movement have you got in your hips? Now shake. This is what dogs do. When they get out of the river, they shake, shake. We're raising the heat, the light, the heat. And all the ice in you is melting. Movement, fluid, heat, shake. Bring yourself into your chest. The bosom of God. I love this. Shake. Envision this ancient cobra, the queen of all creation, of all power. Envision her. You're channeling this energy. Now, this is not just for the animals, this is for you. Bring to mind a situation that really upsets you. So come into your body and think about when you're frustrated, you're feeling powerless, and here is this situation. Bring that in for a moment. Feeling less than, you want to shrink. What's that negative, crushing problem? Now, instead of being a human in this situation, you are a gigantic cobra. You're a spitting cobra. She's very gentle. She's very peaceful. She's proud. And imagine that your energy, you're huge, huge. She's huge. And your coiled tail is the size of a house. And you're only the neck of the cobra. And you've got these beautiful, beautiful neck pieces. And you have fangs and you can defend yourself. And you also can advise and comfort and teach and help. But bring to mind this situation where you feel so powerless. And this time, rather than being in a human body, you're in the same situation, but you're a cobra. Let yourself do your shape shift. You're gathering energy, gathering power into you. Let that power grow. You'll feel yourself start to uncoil. And as you're uncoiling, you're getting bigger. So you're getting higher, you're rising. You're big, you're growing. So she's reaching up into the sky. And your head is growing higher. So take a breath. One of the things that I have failed to talk about in these webinars is this state of trance. So feel how your body feels right now. Imagine that situation that upset you so badly. What if you could bring this body into that situation? You are this great and powerful destroyer, guys. You can give life and you can take it away, and only females can do that. Feel your own creative power, your juice. Can sit again, and I'm just going to show you this horse because this kind of movement raises heat, and love is heat. Love is warmth. Love is heat. So the ice and the separation melt. There's no separation between you and this horse. I don't talk about trance states, and I should be. Because what I realize now, this ability to put myself into a deep trance, this ability for you to put yourself into trance, that's what determines whether or not you succeed. It's a trance state. Now, I'm Choctaw Cherokee, and in my world, we danced. When the Cherokee want to make it rain, they did a rain dance. They want to call an animal for a hunt, they dance. That was very rare, and only in celebratory situations that they would actually kill an animal and eat it. But that was an agreement with the spirit of that animal and a giveaway. It was done with a lot of reverence. Dancing puts you in trance. And I realize now that's why I harp on music all the time. It puts you in trance. So the brain waves have got to deepen into this alpha, beta, theta state where now you can gather. You're gathering information. So sitting in this newly renovated, heated, lit up body full of light, nothing can come into that body and hurt you. You are a cobra. There's fiber in the center of your spine, and you are completely and totally safe and powerful and all-knowing, connected to the planet, the earth, her power, her animals. This is Amy Painter's horse. This is Picasso. I love this picture. Look at his. He's a character. He is something else. So I'm going to give you a different one. There he is. Now, once you've activated some of your energy, you're going to feel more of what does his torso feel like? What does his back feel like? What do his hips feel like? What does his neck feel like? What is it like to be something so beautiful and powerful? I'm going to send you the list of questions for him. But we start with the usual ones, which is always love. It's always who's your favorite other horse? Who's your favorite other animal? Go in for his favorite other horse. So we're envisioning that there's something in the center of your being that's like a door. And right now the door is shut. But when we open that door, a tunnel of light shoots out of your chest. And it shoots out of your heart and it connects to his heart on a wave of unconditional love. And it's a raised heat, so it's fiery. It's exciting. We're sending him this electrical wave of love. It's saying when you're so happy and you look over and you see your favorite other horse, here is your best friend. What color is this other horse? Where is this other horse? How big is this other horse? Is it male or female? Envision that picture, like a dolphin sonar, is going to come back to you on a feedback loop. That information is coming in. Now, rather than just seeing a snapshot picture, it's a movie. There's a little movie clip of his favorite other horse. What is his favorite other horse doing? What does he like about this one? What is his personality like? Why does he like this one so much? What do they talk about? What does that horse offer to this horse? This is Picasso. Just jot down the first things that come into your body. And the feeling for me is in my belly. Joy, excitement, comfort, happiness. I'll show you another one. Tell him how stunning he is. Admire his little back white socks and his beautiful nose and the stripe down his face and his hair in his ears. Imagine that you're so close to him, you could touch his cheek. You could smell him. You could pet him. You feel his muscles. You look into his eyes. Feel him. Ask him, how does he get along with the rest of the herd? So the first feeling is a feeling of joy and being very safe and solid. And put yourself in his body and look out at the herd. How does he feel about that? He goes out and greets the other horses every day. When somebody offers a specific name, you don't need to know if it's a human, if it's an animal, you don't know what it is. How does he respond to a being named Hannah? Hannah. Use this newly activated belly. You either get a happy feeling with Hannah or you get an anxious feeling with Hannah. How do you feel about Hannah? That's the question. If you aren't in touch with your own feelings, you're not going to be able to do it. Your feelings are like a reflection on an ocean. But when that pond is still, he sends a feeling. It's reflected inside you. You're creating a reflection of him. Her next question was, what would bring you more ease and joy? Picture him, ask him, what's the happiest you've ever been in your life? And when you were so, so happy, what were you doing? Now, feel your own movement, feel your own cobra. But now you're this horse too. Imagine you're in a body that powerful. He can run. Does it feel like a run in his body? He can jump. He can kick his back legs up. What does it feel like to be in his body? He can roll on his back in the grass. He can feel the sunshine on his face. He can reach down and the whole world's covered in horse candy. You can take it into your mouth and you can eat the sweetness. What does grass taste like? Is he worried about anything? Worries and concerns. You're in his gigantic, majestic head. And I have a sensation of a thought coming in from the outside and then floating away. Something that he's worried about. It's just a wave on the ocean. It's going to come and go. It's going to change. He's on a farm. He's on a farm in Virginia. And Amy moved across the country and she didn't bring these two horses because they were happier there in Virginia. So they're not with her at the moment. But we can still feel them. Their caretaker is named Mary. Put yourself in his body. Mary's coming. Mary's coming. What does she look like, Mary? What's her personality like? What kind of clothes is she wearing? What color is her hair? What's her body shape like? What does her voice sound like? How do you feel about Mary? Now your chiropractor's coming up. The next question is, how do they feel about the chiropractor and chiropractic adjustments? Here comes your chiropractor. You know that chiropractor is going to do some things to you. How do you feel about it? Do you feel better after they touch you? Or maybe not. Maybe you want them to go away. Just feeling, it's the first thing you feel. There are a total of 12 questions. Question number 8, how does he feel about Sugarfoot and Critter? Sugarfoot and Critter. Write these down and you can come back to it. So send him the idea, Sugarfoot. What does your body feel like? Imagine you could hear him thinking and that he could talk in English and you could hear him. What would he say about this horse named Sugarfoot? If you don't use your imagination, the process doesn't work. It's when it starts coming in. If you don't squelch it right up front, it's going to start pouring in. He can talk about Sugarfoot and you can hear him. Maybe Sugarfoot is some bomb or message for his human or whatever things, just write down. First day that comes to your mind. And then you're going to go to this creature named Critter. Check in with that. How does he feel about Critter? Does Critter have a message? Does Critter have a problem? She's asking if he's happy, but ask him what makes him happy. What does he like to look at? What does he like to feel? What does he like to eat? What makes him happy about this Virginia farm? Does he miss her? Does he miss Amy? Or has he just shifted into a new chapter in his life and he's totally okay? He will be seeing her in the next few months. Ask him if he knows that she's coming and if he's excited about that. And if he had a message for her, what would it be? He has had a very painful past that he may or may not want to talk about. And I'll let you ask him if he'd like to share it with you. Not just what he suffered, but what he learned. And it's all right for him to say no. I'm going to leave you with that question. A message for Amy. Is there anything the humans can do to make his life better? On Tuesday, I'm going to pull up the picture of his buddy. So you'll get to see who the other horse is. Any question you have about horses in general? You can simply say, do you hear better than we do? What does the earth sound like through your ears? What does the grass taste like? What does it feel like to wake up in a body so powerful as this one? For now, I'm going to say thank you to him. You also can ask if he has advice for you personally. What advice do horses have for all humans? And how can he get you more grounded, connected to the planet? I'm feeling the strength of his ankles. And feeling the strength of his hooves. Feeling his connection and love for the earth. His peace is so deep. Picture him at night. What happens there at night? What do you smell? What does it sound like? Picture you could look up at the stars. What does it feel like? Does he have favorite creatures that he likes to listen to? So I'm looking for frogs, crickets, birds singing. I'm putting him in a big ball of love, of sparkling stars, saying thank you for being our teacher. Thank you for talking to us. It's a little bit harder when you don't have an eye of an animal looking right at the camera, but you still get a good feeling of his personality. And feel how different your body feels. You're moving it, waking it up. Feel your energy in your spine, how different you feel. All the aches and pains will completely and totally go away when you start dancing. So guys and dolls, I'm going to say goodbye to you here now. But before I do, I'm making you a special offer. I have got to make the money to get myself to the UK. And hopefully the students are actually going to be able to come. Everybody's in crisis. So this week only, if you want a private reading with me, I'm going to give you an hour on Zoom for $125. And that's for you. Now, I can help you understand your animals better. I'm not going to read them for that amount of money, but I can teach you to read them. So $125, my PayPal is just info@ameliakincaid.com. Let's see how much personal one-on-one contact we can get before I leave, in case I can't get online easily from there. $125 for an hour. Email me and let me know if you want to take me up on that offer. I've got a couple of weeks where I have nothing but time, and I want to make sure you get the attention that you need. So let's make it worth your while. And with certified training, if you have already purchased the 52 lessons, I'm going to take that price off your price. So if you've already purchased the 52 and you've paid for this, obviously, I'm going to bring that price down now to $2,500. And I'm going to throw in a whole bunch of free private readings and check-ins. I'm going to say once a month. So I'm going to give you 12 instead of 4. If you have an inclination to take me up on this offer, please do it now. With the grace of God, things will change in the next year and I'll get busy again and I won't have time to do it. So let's do it while we have the time. I'm going to say goodbye. I love each and every one of you. Honor your own female divinity. Honor your own female spirit. Honor the fact that you were born with this ability and you were born to do this work and you came to the planet to do the work and the planet needs you to do the work. So we're not giving in to what's happening around us. We're not getting bullied by all their insanity. You came because you know that bringing love here now is the right thing to do. And we're going to do it with all of our courage and strength. You start getting shaky, go into that cobra. So, love you. I'll see you all on Tuesday. Bye for now.